adjustments to the agenda? Seeing none, acceptance of minutes, September 27th, 2023.
I'll move to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the minutes of September 27th, 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have another one on the side?
Or you could just sign it. Communications and public comments.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Lisa Merton. I'm from the board of the Windover Pinnacle Association. I'm head of the Conservancy and / Acquisitions Committee. And I wanted to bring to your attention that the association is in the process of applying for grants to acquire and conserve 96 acres on Old Athens Road. There is 12 acres south of the road and 84 acres north of the road. It runs right along the town line.
Is that John Shaddis's?
Indeed.
You actually don't have sell?
It's been for sale for a while.
You know how long it has taken?
Years.
21 years.
Yeah.
It has taken us 21 years. We've had 4 appraisals on that piece of land over the years. It went from, you don't even want to know.
What happened?
Went to the prices.
Did he keep any of it?
He kept 12 acres.
So he's got all that part?
We're helping him to clean up the junk. We've helped him a couple of days already. He had a 30-yard dumpster up there, and we've been working with him a couple of days with a backhoe and several people. That was, we had trouble with the rain, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get at it again. So, so it abuts land that is already conserved to the west, which is already Pinnacle Association. It will widen the corridor in one of the narrowest places on the trail system that runs, now all the way from Grafton. If you can include the Putney Mountain Association, it goes all the way to Dummerston. It's pretty incredible. It's like 27 miles of trail. So we're in the process of applying for a Vermont Housing and Conservation Board funding. And you have done this before in the past. I read it in the town plan today. It would be wonderful to be able to get a letter of support that we can present with our application to the Vermont Housing and Conservation Board. I already sent Katrina. You already have a letter? Oh, that's terrific. That is terrific. So may I ask 2 questions?
Mm-hmm.
On the Vermont Housing and Conservation Board application, they want to know, let's see, I have it right here. How does the project conform to the town plan, our project? And from my point of view, in reading the town plan, it's about reliable public access to lands. It's to recreation, and there actually will be no expansion of the trails for this land, but it is in an area where it'll be sort of a jumping off point for the trails that go north and trails that go south to the Pinnacle. And at some point in the 12-acre piece, we have a plan. We hope to be able to build a rustic structure like we have up on the Pinnacle, where school groups can go and use that as a starting point, and for studying the wetlands that are there, or going to the wetlands that are on the border between Neil Thompson's land in the northeast corner of the 84-acre piece. So we're hoping it will be something that the Westminster Center School can use, Studio Y in Westminster, and other school groups from Grafton. We will eventually be able to have this as a sort of jumping off point. So that's very exciting. So am I right in saying recreation and public access? Is there anything else? I mean, that's the town plan from 2015, and I know a new one is.
We'll be readopting the old one.
You will be?
For now.
Okay.
So that'll, yes, you can. It would be my thought that you could just go with that town plan for now.
Okay, so that's appropriate recreation and public access.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And maybe something about headwaters. I mean, it's high land. It mostly, a lot of that, I think, watershed flows to the East Putney Brook, but it's also, obviously, some of it's coming this way from the northern land. So would it be appropriate to say something about, clean water, right? It's coming out of a good land, clean land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at our, like, our zoning, that's in the recreational, the conservation district.
Yeah, it's in the resource
Seems
conservation
like,
district, and it's also in the Ridgeline Protection Overlay District.
it's not like a place anyone's gonna put a house anyway.
Well,
That's what you said.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put a jump there.
No, we're gonna get rid of the junk. We will, eventually we'll get rid of the junk. John Shaddis is interested in getting rid of the junk too.
Hold it all up there.
I know, but he's had many 30-yard dumpsters up there already that he's built up. So it's better than it was, and it's gonna get better still. So thank you for allowing me to be at the meeting today. Do you have any questions?
I don't.
How long does it take to get this grant?
We won't have a closing until December 24th, probably, because we have to raise, we'll get money, we'll get a good hunk, we hope, from Vermont Housing and Conservation Board. This is our 13th project with them. And the Vermont Land Trust will hold the easement on the land, because most of the other land is, the easements are held with Vermont Land Trust, but also with Vermont Fish and Wildlife, one. So it's a lot of bureaucratic kind of.
So if this goes in, is hunting allowed on it?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
on all
that's
Pinnacle
fine.
land,
Yeah.
except for the Martin Sanctuary, which is on Bemis Hill Road,
That's
and that came to us with those preconditions. It's not a very large piece, but all
It's getting,
Pinnacle.
there's a lot of land, this is one of those should be really happy with what they're doing.
Well, people do hunt there, I think. Yeah. And we have, the most recent conservation that we have done is in the towns of Athens, Brookline, and Townsend. 615 acres on the next ridge over. It's actually the land that we look at from the Pinnacle. It's in the Pinnacle watershed. It's really beautiful. If anybody ever wants to go up there, I'm happy to take you. There's a 15-acre pond up there, of which only half is protected. So, any other questions? No, I don't think so. Thank you so much.
No, I don't have a question, but being this is under communication and public comments, we can't make, it's not an action item.
Right.
Do we even need a motion?
Right.
So make a motion to support.
Well, it's not an
But
action item.
So it's not
didn't make the
No, but
agenda.
we didn't make the agenda, but we could just add it to
Table
the
it.
agenda for the next meeting to
And just make a
officially
motion to officially,
make a motion
sign it.
to sign it. If that's,
so.
To sign a letter, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, wait, we're gonna need the letter, it's due before your next meeting.
Okay.
The next meeting is November.
No, our next meeting.
Oh, no, you have, you,
2 weeks, 2
We
weeks.
have, it's the 25th.
I'll go with my.
that'll be okay if I can get it that night.
Yeah, just show up here and do it, we'll have it on the
Yeah,
thing.
Okay,
Sorry, it's
cool. No,
sorry,
that's
we-
okay.
we-
It's due the next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll sign it the very same night.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be all ready.
Okay,
Exactly.
awesome. Thank you so much. Do you,
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
do you need anything else from me? If you have any questions, you know where to find me.
Yes.
742 History Ridge Road.
Make sure it goes on the
Yep.
agenda.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good meeting. Bye. Thank you all.
All right. Any other communications from public comment? Moving on to new business, Pine Banks Road damage. I might as well speak on that.
So, as you guys probably know by now, the dam, it's really on Orchard Hill, Beaver Pond. let go, and came down Fulham Brook. And that big deep culvert where Fulham Brook goes under Pine Banks Road, right by Fernwood, you know where that is, just before Camp Road. It washed around the culvert, caused the bottom of the culvert to implode because it took all the dirt around it, caused it to drop, and when it did, it blew the bottom of that culvert right up out, which the culvert wasn't great anyway. So now, of course, we sent the letter, you guys signed it to the state, we're waiting to hear back from them on funding. Mark Pickering seemed confident. He said that they were waiting also for a hydraulic study, but he was leaning towards a bridge to go back there. He felt like it would be less expensive. Anyway.
If you put a bridge in, does that mean the road gets closed for a while?
Oh, absolutely. I don't care what you do there. Whatever you do there, the road's gonna be closed. It's, the culvert's, you know, close to 40 feet down to the bottom.
I
It's
stopped
deep.
yesterday when I went by. It's
It's
pretty deep,
impressive.
it's deeper,
Yeah.
it's pretty deep when you stand at the bottom.
So at the bottom, well, you were there, so at the bottom, Mark wants us to take and put 4 foot minus, like 2 high, boulders high, like 20 feet on each side of the wall, and then go 2 foot minus above that, 4 foot deep, up.
Like
12
right
feet.
now?
Yeah, as a temporary fix for now, so that if we get a major rain that comes down and impedes on that, it won't wash the road out. It will work under through that screwed up culvert. We took the little bit of ledge we had and stuff, we did a temporary fix, as you saw, enough to open the road back up and make it safe, but it's certainly not great.
Yeah.
We don't have any equipment big enough to mess around with 4 foot minus rock. Our excavator would stack 2 4 foot rocks on top of each other. So we gotta decide how we're gonna handle it. Whether we try to put it out to bid, whether we try to get, rent a machine, whether we try to get contractors.
This is on us.
Yes, it's on us, yep. We have, of course, we have money in our emergency fund for such events.
So what's your, would you say rent or put it out to bid?
Yeah,
Is it gonna?
my gut is if we put it out to bid, you're
You're not gonna get it done.
probably not.
So can you rent a piece of equipment and do it? You guys take the bulk on it?
We're capable, but we're trying to get all the roads graded, get things done before winter.
Well, the other issue is 4 foot rock, is finding anybody that will haul 4 foot rock.
Right.
Right.
During I know this was a while now, but during Irene, 4 foot rock was, I'll haul like 2 foot, but 4 foot's big, that's a big rock, like.
Well, that's right, you wanna
That's
drop
like
a
4 or 5
4 foot
rocks
rock
to
in
the
the back of your dump truck.
You
I don't-
destroy your truck.
I would, so yeah, even if we could do, I would call over there and see if I can get rock delivered. We wouldn't even try to haul it. That was my thing, but same with the 2 foot. Well, and during the road foreman's report, I was gonna tell you that truck number 3 is down. It's been down now for a couple of weeks, waiting for a radiator. It's under warranty, but there wasn't one in the country. There is now, and we're supposed to see it by the 25th. So that's a thing, We're gonna start putting plow frames on next week and getting ready. One of these days it's gonna get cold and we're gonna have a little rainstorm, we're gonna have ice. We're gonna have to be ready for it, so. In the past, what they might have done was called around a few contractors to see if anybody was even willing to do it. Because it's late in the year, everybody's trying to, same boat, everybody's got work and they're trying to get it done before winter, contractors are,
So they basically
Scramble.
said, we have to do this?
Well, and we have a hazard mitigation plan today.
I think that's his recommendation based on what he saw there,
Right.
That was,
and
he told, yeah.
to help prevent,
He
because
took-
this
yeah,
isn't gonna
that's
happen
right.
over, none of this is gonna happen overnight.
No,
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna last the winter. This is gonna be next
Right.
year before anything happens to this boulevard, so.
Okay, so
This was
Preventative.
the state's
Right.
engineer telling Ben, myself, and Ally that this is what we needed to do.
That helped
but
me.
we don't need to necessarily, we could just tell them, no, we can't do it. I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah, sure you can, and when, but here's the deal,
oh, if we don't do it, it's a mess,
if
Yeah.
we get a major storm and it blows the road out,
Potential.
and it's working.
potentially, if, that's what I said, if.
Yeah.
I don't know where that would go.
Yeah,
After they told you to do it, you decided not to, which I don't, I'm not,
no, I was just saying,
That's-
hypothetically, do we have to do it? I mean, that was like, are they making us do it?
This is my theory, my thought, if Mark
Are we
is,
stupid not to do it?
if Mark is going to bat for us to a degree for funding, he suggests that, I think we should follow his suggestion and
I agree.
make a reasonable attempt to secure what's there, and which would also, let's say we decide, no, we're not gonna, blows the road out, everybody on that road now gotta go to Putney, and now they're coming back, well, you guys, you know what I mean?
after
Like,
we
it would
were
avoid,
already told.
yeah, it would avoid,
To do this by an engineer, I'm not an engineer.
it would avoid all that.
No,
It's
I
just a
tend
matter
to
of figuring
agree.
out how to get it.
Yeah, so.
And
what
we've
are
got
our
the money
options?
to do it. Like, I mean, it's not like, I believe that no matter what we do for a fix, the material we put there now will be able to be reused in the future.
Yeah, the big.
So it's not gonna be a waste.
So this is something we need to do.
Soon, now.
Yeah.
So what are our options for doing it? What's your best? What's your best guess?
My gut is we're gonna have to do some scrambling and call around, you know? Does
There you go.
Jason Terry have time to do it? Does Mason Brothers have time to do it? Does Frank Carlo have time to do it? Does
Yeah.
somebody with a big machine,
Say, all those people named don't have a machine big enough to get a 4-foot rock.
you
Really?
know, does Paul Ferguson have time to do it? Does Anthony Savage have time to do it? You know, you start calling everybody I know in the area that I can think of.
I think we could
I think that,
bypass the bid process for this, being it is an emergency,
right,
and make an attempt to find somebody that can do it in a reasonable time frame. And
'Cause I mean-
use your judgment that if you think this is, if you think someone's taking advantage of it, as far as like, you know, hey, it's short notice, I can,
Well, I'll let you guys know for the final decision anyway. I'll just get
yeah.
an idea on what needs to be done, and I'll come back to you guys for an answer.
Yeah.
Even if you guys gotta have a special or get a hold of each other, do
So
whatever, but.
is that a motion?
No, I didn't make a motion, I'm just making a suggestion.
So when we come back with somebody can do it, we then make a motion
To accept it.
to accept it and bypass the bid policy.
Correct.
Okay, so,
As long as we're all in agreement that we can, it's an emergency and we
It's an
can.
emergency.
You've put eyes on it, and you're in the business. No,
That culvert is pretty impressive how bad it is.
What?
Yeah, it looks like the rib cage of something up in the center. You know, a rod
Yeah,
culvert on the bottom, it
it's
just blew up and it's like,
and what's impressive is
It's
the
really-
water line was about 5 feet below the road surface. So picture how deep that water was up against that road. It's amazing we didn't lose that road
the whole thing.
and have that go down and make a mess on the interstate or Route 5.
To call that a culvert right now is kind of a stretch. It's
how much water runs through there, on a, like today?
It's normally like,
Small brook?
what's that?
Is it a small brook or a
No,
dry?
it's a pretty good sized brook. I'd say it's probably equivalent to the brook that runs along the side of the West Road.
Yeah.
On a normal day.
you missed, Martin Pickering had recommended probably a bridge.
Yeah, I saw the write-ups
Okay.
about that,
Okay,
yeah. Bridge.
But that beaver pond was, Ben walked up, about a mile up. Last time, I haven't been up there in years. Last time I was up there was on a horse, and I would say it was probably at least 8 acres then. It was a big pond, and it drained it all.
Where's that in relationship to like,
So if you go up to John Kowalski's at the end of Orchard Hill, and you walk,
oh, it's out.
you keep going straight down that road, it's the end of the beaver pond actually was in the road. There was, back in the day, there was like 1.5 feet of water across the road. And then it continued to the east. Quite a ways. Like I said, it was like 8 acres. It was big. And it all drained, and it was still an active beaver pond. It was still.
That beaver pond's not on the town forest land at all, is it?
What's that?
It's not
No,
adjacent to town property.
No, it's all, yeah, no, it's all private. It's not.
It's further north.
It's nowhere near the town
Well
forest.
north of there.
Yeah. I say it's nowhere near the town forest, but as the crow flies, it's probably 2 miles from the town forest.
It's not close.
So we're not gonna make a motion on anything tonight and take action on it, other than we all agree that it would be covered as an emergency.
Yep.
And you'll come back to us.
So I will move
Whether
forward
next
on
meeting, or we
trying
can have
to
a
get
special.
Right.
some idea. You've looked at it, you're in the business, you ought to have some idea on what that should cost to do that. So that when somebody comes back to me, you should be able to help know whether or not they're trying to take advantage, as you stated earlier.
Well, you just know how.
I know that
just know
somebody-
how it
somebody's-
goes sometimes when you get late in the year and somebody wants something tomorrow.
But,
And you may be able to fit it in, it costs a little more, that's
but
all.
at the end of the day, right, we're gonna have to decide whether or not, you know what? What it is,
Just gotta
if
get
you're
it
gonna
done.
have to suck it up and get it done, or.
So I would say the only thing here is that, say someone comes up, finds someone next day or two, and say, you know, I got an opening next week, then we'll have to have a special meeting to get.
Right, yeah, no, I'll get all of you
Yeah,
guys.
we'll get it right.
I don't have a problem.
This is important.
If we close that road for a period of time, just thinking outside the box, obviously not a desirable thing to do, but then the access would be out through Putney.
Yes,
It wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be some pretty ugly residents, I think,
eventually, that's gonna have to happen
for the repair.
for the repair.
Repair,
for the real
for-
repair.
Repair.
Yeah, but if we were to not repair it,
And going into winter, I would not wanna have to drive all the way down to Putney and back up. Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
No.
We'd have to come all the way from South Pine Banks,
Mhm.
all the way through their stretch of road, then to ours, and then plow all the ones around it. So yeah, that would be a challenge at best.
it's just, does seem like a big chunk of change to get it repaired.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have some money in the emergency fund?
We do. I think she said 150.
Our emergency contingency fund. And then there might even be a little extra FEMA money.
This isn't gonna,
Because I think, there was.
This is- no,
that. This is-
Right, but, yeah. But anyway,
15, 20 grand.
Where do
I was
you
gonna
get
say
4
20,
foot?
25, but yeah.
Where do you get 4 foot?
Well, that's, you gotta call ahead and pull river to have them sorted out.
Let me sort it out.
Yeah, when they blast or crush,
Yeah.
whatever they end up with, so that's another thing. So if we're gonna go through with this, then I've gotta call them and say, hey, start sorting out 4 foot rock, because somebody's coming to get it. And it
So-
doesn't matter who it is, that's where they're going.
So worst case scenario, you can't find anybody to do it, we have to rent something?
We're gonna have to figure it out, yeah.
right.
Not much of a choice. Like I said, if something happened, that we didn't do it, I could call Mark and ask him, hey, Mark, if we don't do what you asked us to do, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, we're gonna get
It's gonna be
a road washed out.
Awkward
would be normal.
conversation, but.
Right, well, and usually if
He-
you don't do what's recommended, then it affects your funding and aid for
Right.
future. You essentially don't get any from anybody.
But they said at the end of the day, he's really going to bat for us.
Absolutely.
That culvert has been bad, that didn't happen overnight.
No,
It's been bad for
absolutely.
a long
We
time. so-
knew when, of course, yeah, Mark, I was told that the state came, they did a hydraulic study years ago, they stopped, they said this needs a bridge. And instead of putting a bridge in, they told him to get in his car and go back to Montpelier. So if we're getting any help right now, I think we ought to just
Take it. Yep,
not play games.
You good with that?
Okay. I'm good with that. All right, moving on to ARPA proposals. So there are 3.
Reverse.
I don't have a preference. I think the town seal is the easiest one.
Anybody want to discuss it, or we want to just?
I don't have any, of course, I was there for the ARPA meeting, so I don't have any.
Yeah.
I can,
Before I make a motion, anybody have any questions on this one? Or I'm not trying to take over.
no, you're totally fine, because I don't want to make a motion myself, so.
We got a chair, you can't.
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah.
Stephen, did you have?
No, I read it, it's good.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the funding, ARPA funding for a new Westminster Town seal embossing machine, not to exceed $1,500.
I'll second that motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor? Or any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
You abstain?
Oh, I didn't abstain, but I suppose I could.
Are you abstaining?
You're on the committee.
Yeah, I should probably abstain.
Yes, on that one.
Okay. Do you want to do the defibrillator or the first house? You want to just do the defibrillator?
Sure.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept the ARPA funding recommendation for your defibrillator to be installed in Institute Gym.
You have a dollar amount?
And for the cost not to exceed $1,579.
I will second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve ARPA funding for the defibrillator to be installed at the Institute. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm abstaining, Millie.
Yeah.
And the Westminster West First House. So if you look at the estimate that she had for repairs, there's a cost for cedar shakes or slate, and that's because currently the building has both on it. So
A slate underneath, and a cedar underneath the slate.
right. So I think the recommendation would be to put slate on it, but
The slate would last longer, and the cedar, trying to find the cost for the cedar. Oh, see, the cedar would be $5,366.
yeah.
The slate's actually less, and it would last longer. I would
Are
assume.
they possibly able to reuse what they've got for slate?
About half the roof is, so the north side has intact slate on it, and there is some slate on the south side. So actually, they could probably, about 2/3 of it.
I was wondering if that's why it was cheaper.
Yeah, there's some cedar there too, but they can't reuse that. That's older than the slate.
We could do a not to exceed 20,000, and they can come up with their own plan in the middle there.
I mean, it actually seems like a very modest sum for
I think it's
essentially rebuilding the building.
pretty inexpensive, actually.
Yeah. All things
By
considered,
the
that was
way,
my thought.
the logs didn't get a cent for the farming. The whole thing.
What?
The hemlock, we got $97.
Ooh.
There was 1,600 feet of pine. I don't know if it was, I never really looked at it. Alex kind of cleaned it
The
up.
ash was dead and rotten, but the pine was good.
They pulled it. I think it was cut short. I don't know. I gotta go ask the guy why. I hadn't had to just get over there, but the hemlock made $97. The trucking was a flat fee, so we had hardwood on that. So it went,
Where'd it go?
it went to the Rockingham Log Yard Canopy. So, and I know the guy there, so I need to go back and ask him, why?
Maybe
Why
that's
don't-
why.
What?
So maybe that's why.
I've always been treated really well by a lot of them. Does the, I don't know who the owner is, but the guy that does the,
Yeah.
was Gary Wells.
I don't know, yeah, we didn't cut any of it, it was all done by.
Yeah, it was all done, I think there was a couple 10-foot, they don't like 10-foot in pine, but it was basically, so, but I think there was one that was 12, so that should have, unless it had red rod in it, I didn't
Right.
really look. So that's all red rod, it's no good, I don't know.
Massive.
And they don't
massive
pay for
logs.
pulp, because pulp is just junk, so the goose, we got rid of the logs for nothing, they got carted, and we only had to bring them to my house.
Right,
And for the trucking it was $350 a day, was a straight, so I would have paid that for mine, so I didn't have to charge you guys, I just topped off the road, I was paying $350.
So there's a few standing chunks of cedars, or what are they?
come on,
Hemlock.
Hemlock, they got paid for hemlock.
But there's still some standing chunks out there, aren't there?
yes,
They gotta be pretty good to make a lot, otherwise they're pulling in.
oh, I think they look like saw logs standing up there to me.
Oh, they're
And
still standing.
Yeah,
when do they come down? Or what's the,
when will they, oh, well,
when power company gets to it?
those will probably cut down, I just ran out of time
Okay,
for that little project, so I just left them there because,
The place looks, I mean, with the grass growing in, it looks nice.
I think it looks better than it did.
I think it's good. That's fine, it's fine. But,
Let's get back to the.
yeah, so anyway, so other than the sad not acquiring much money for the timber that was taken out, the estimate seems very reasonable. The structural repairs, $11,247, which seems pretty good, and then you have a roof for 5,000, well, I guess the slate is 4,600 to 7,100.
Yeah, the total between
Okay, so that's why you get a span,
15 to,
899 to 18,369.
yeah.
Um,
So if we did a not to exceed 20,000.
Yeah,
It's they only would get what they submit invoices for, anyways.
Right.
It's 11, it's 11, if it's 19, it's 19.
Right.
I'll make motion to approve the ARPA funding for the Westminster West first house, not to exceed 20,000.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? I'm abstaining, Millie.
Okay.
All right. Any other ARPA things before we move on? Okay.
Actually, our roof.
Well, we could. So the town hall roof. Ally has not had much luck getting anybody else to come with the roof and give us an estimate. And I feel like we should at least fix that. And we can worry about
How about this?
creating, well,
it could be.
Yeah.
You know, when that was.
If that's the worst corner, I'm no roofer, but we've got a lot of rain and that doesn't seem to be growing and there's no water
Well,
dripping on the floor. And I'm not saying it's not leaking,
right?
but I'm saying I don't think it's as dire.
Is some of
as-
these stains from,
These have been here
We've
for.
been here for a long time,
Been here for-
a really long time.
it'd be nice to replace the panels so that we know when we get a new one.
The guy from Brown told me, he said, slate roof, you need to go up every spring.
Yeah.
Ice
Well,
messes with you.
Yeah, you do.
And so what they do with a lot of people is they'll do that repair, and then they'll look around and they'll say, okay, you might have a little thing here. Then they come in the spring, and that's one thing we should be doing. It should be on our thing,
Right.
absolutely, because your roof is your most important part of your building, roofing your foundation. And every spring, they come over and you know, find out from them what kind of that costs and have it kind of in our capital.
Right, he said he was
maintenance
gonna
budget.
follow up with that.
Yeah, we're probably looking at spending $2,500 to $5,000 a year.
How
Well,
do
just
you
this
get
building, yeah.
to the attic of this building? To see if the insulation is all soggy wet. Is there a
Spider-Man.
ladder or a?
Is that a trap door right there? You
That's
go
what
up
that
there?
is,
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is a ladder of, oh, I know, I love exploring all of it. But that does look like there's nothing out here for another staircase going up or anything.
I don't know if there's anything behind the stage or not.
Oh, behind the stage.
I've never been behind stage, so I don't know.
That is a tall ladder.
Well,
I mean, it was just, I didn't want us to fall off the radar.
No,
And
No, we need to get
I
done.
think we should-
Winter's coming. We
Yeah,
need
we
to
should
get these
do
guys over
something.
here.
why don't we just do what we just did, approve, Brown not to exceed $2,000. If they find something else while they're up there,
And they can look at
they
everything
can
else.
check it out. If they don't spend it, they don't spend it. But at least it gets someone up there, eyes
Yeah,
on it.
that's
and-
a reasonable small amount.
And then it's,
I obviously, there's more to be found
Sure.
to
right,
maintain broken pieces elsewhere, ultimately, but we can keep working that. Would
It
be
gets the
nice
ball
to,
rolling, I
would be
guess.
nice to have a sort of
yes.
a reasonable bit of just maintaining our, from
We
a
might do that, I
That's,
think.
Brown said they would do that.
Brownswood.
It's already told me.
Yeah, and it's written right here on our estimate.
What did it say?
Spring maintenance.
It said that
Inspection.
installers will do a full roof inspection while they're on site doing repairs, and will follow up call to discuss regular spring maintenance schedule.
Perfect.
That sounds like just what we want, as opposed to Jankowitz, which was great hunk, 46,000.
Yeah,
But what we want is a ongoing relationship with somebody who can do the ordinary.
I met this guy, Ted, I know, yeah, good job. It's nice.
It's just, as you said, important to regularly look at it.
Yeah.
Often we expect to do maintenance, and then we think we spend a whole lot of money, we'll never worry about it again. That's never true.
But they're not to exceed $2,000.
What was the bid for?
1,300.
yeah, 1325. It's not, this is
Okay.
from our,
1320, so
There's a
2,000.
little bit of.
2,000.
Yeah, that's good. That's really.
I'll second that.
motion has been made and
Did
seconded.
you get that, Noel?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you need this, Millie? This is the estimate.
I don't think I have this before. Thank you.
And the town hall safe,
We don't have any
I don't-
information on
yeah.
that.
yeah.
No, I do have something. So tomorrow I'll find out, I've got an engineer. I just got to get his contact, so I'm gonna pick that up tomorrow.
What's wrong with townhouse stairs? Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, it's not,
There's something wrong foundation-wise that the safe is actually,
it's not actually
The whole
safe.
building is
It's-
cracking.
something settling
It's
there.
settling.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Ah, fucking go.
Right into the cellar.
Good fight.
Somebody's in
Safe.
there.
Yeah.
Well, we can table that.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I'll get this guy's number and talk to him. I'll just gotta get it.
all right.
To get my long hair.
Errors and omissions.
This is this canvas thing.
Kevin's usually good at these, but.
Did you ever will? Okay.
I make a motion to approve the errors and omissions. 4261 dated 10/4/2023, parcel 003-094.160, 13 Shady Pines Trailer Park. Current grand list value $5,900, and the reason this unlanded mobile home was removed in July of '22.
So does this change it from grand list value of 5,900 to 0?
Well, we need a second, and then we can,
Okay, so second, yeah.
I believe unlanded means it doesn't exist there anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if the mobile home's gone and there's no land, it would seem like it's going from 5,900
I
to
believe-
0.
Yeah, I believe so.
And that, I guess, makes sense. It's no mobile home and no land.
Yeah, I think that must be it.
motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I don't think so, other than it would be nice if they wrote, if there's a road on
What
that.
the change
If the change
is,
went from 1,500 to 0, or
or if there's.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's,
agreed.
So the 1,500 is current, and then there was that implication of 0, I guess.
All those in favor? Aye.
do you have one of these now?
I do, yes, thank you.
Town manager's report,
I said she didn't have it, and then
okay, Ally said so. Yeah. Road foreman's report, kind of got one already, but.
Is
Yeah,
that-
well, so we're working right now on the, Better Roads grant between, it's on the West Road. We've got a grant for the entire West Road because it's hydrologically connected. So, that means we're removing berms, reshaping the road, getting it so the water drains positively and not, having cutouts and like that. They want to eliminate all that and get water, rid of it as fast as you can so it's not creating any momentum and lessens erosion and gravel in the brooks and all that kind of thing. So,
just to clarify, so Westminster West Road from Saxon River all the way to Putney, or?
the West Road,
West Road.
Oh, sorry, the West Road,
The
the
West
road
Road.
up by the west.
the West Road in Westminster. Right?
Okay,
Is that-
so, and.
So from Crossroad, right now we're working from Crossroad up to Paluski's Camp Road.
Mhm.
That little section is always bad right there. The water never gets off toward the brook like it should. It runs down the road, the whole length of the road, then goes out when it gets toward Crossroad. So, we're establishing ditches up through there, cutting the shoulders off. We'll be planting grass seed, doing some stone work. We'll be finishing up there this week on that road, and then we'll revisit it. This is an ongoing project that won't be done until next summer. We got an extension because of all the storms in Vermont. They don't expect anybody to get done. We originally said that we weren't going to do it because in the spring we had so much to do because of the snowstorm March, trying to clean up all the trees and stuff like that. They wanted this originally done by April. Well, there's no way.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. Well, the state decided that now don't have to be done until next year, so we decided we'd take it on and get it done.
So you're gonna go from there next year down all the way down through
We're gonna do the whole road, yeah,
Down to Putney, or
to the parking lot, yeah.
does it involve, I mean, essentially, there is existing ditches, but they're filled up, they're.
You'll be, yeah, you'll
Bumped
be
up.
cleaning all them out, you'll be adding stone to them where it needs it, you'll be, putting grass down. It's Act 64, it's the Clean Water Act,
Mhm.
that's what this is.
What happens, Steve,
All
is
revolving
you
around.
get these places where there's a little berm, and it drops off, so they do cutouts, and all the water hits just those cutouts. We had terrible erosion on my property from that, and then they took the berm off, and now the water sheds equally everywhere, pretty
Right.
much, and you don't have any issues, it just,
And the berm is essentially the pile of dirt left as.
you know, the stone wall or whatever was there, and so the road's kind of below, and there's a little berm, and then it drops off, so it can't, they make the cutouts through the berm, if you get rid of the whole berm, the water evenly
Sorry,
goes off,
is
it
the
makes a
berm-
huge difference.
Is the berm that, essentially that sand and gravel
That's right.
created by
Yeah, some,
grading and erosion, et cetera?
Mostly created by snow
Or
removal.
snow plowing.
really,
That's what most of it comes
Yes,
from.
yeah,
happens in driveways too.
it happens on.
People go, why are you making a
Our
driveway?
Letary Road,
So
too.
get rid of the water.
And does this involve any stone wall or tree line removal?
In places, if you get a tree that's in the edge of the road that needs to come out.
Do you anticipate?
The state actually wants us to have a 6-foot clear zone from the edge of the road back. They would like to see us cut every tree 6 feet within the road. Obviously, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, in your imagining the scope of the project, or as you're planning the project, are we going to get feedback have you already received any feedback from,
Only
from
positive so
residents?
far.
What's that?
Positive so far.
Positive flowers. So what I would imagine is, as adverse feedback would be people complaining about seeing tree or stone wall removal.
Right now, I don't foresee any real stone wall removal down through there so much. I was just trying to think of stone
On
walls
my
down
road,
through
over that
there.
road, we removed the stone wall, but there was really nothing left of it. You can
No,
tell there
that's
was a
right.
stone wall there. It was nothing. It was completely dilapidated, mostly buried, and it was causing the burn. And so and then when they did the cutouts, I have 6-foot canyons that were never there from the cutouts. It came right down the cutouts, and now they haven't grown a bit since you took the berm off. A lot of rock in it.
Right.
You couldn't even tell
Well,
if there was a stone.
I don't foresee any, and normally we don't cut any trees that are ancient maples or anything like that, unless they're dead, they're gonna fall on the road anyway. Most anything is small, you know, if it's right in the ditch line or something like that. And a tree that big is gonna turn into a tree that big, and your problem's just gonna get bigger. It's better to eliminate it before it turns into something more than it is, it's my opinion, but.
And then another, just trying to manage public concerns.
Yep.
This project, will it be perceived at all as something in advance of paving the road? You know how that would be regarded.
Yes.
Yes, and it doesn't, and if anybody who's working on this project, who's asked, is this in preparatory to paving, would be able to comfortably say, no, that's not what we're doing.
No, they don't, no, they know exactly what it's all about.
That's important to keep that clear, so we don't steer unnecessary hornet's nests.
Right.
As you mentioned. And frankly, from my point of view, having grown up in Westminster West, when I was growing up on that flat stretch of the highway, of the paved road, south of the village, from Mary Mitchell's down through the low area, that was lined with lovely stone wall and large maple trees.
Right.
Planted by the Grange in the 1890s. And of course, the salt from the road and all, killed the trees and all. And then the town, of course, as gradually widening the road, took that all away. But the general transition from a beautifully shaded road to a where it is now,
Sure.
it was basically, it was a lot prettier back then.
Oh, I don't disagree.
And but you know, the trees do die, but salt does a number of them.
Progress, right?
Yeah. So to a certain extent, there is a background to concern about stone walls and trees.
So this is all state mandated stuff that we're doing, that. Because we signed the municipal roads general permit, and we adopted the best management, I say we, you guys, the best management practices. We agreed that we would do this. Which I don't know what would happen if you decided against it.
Or I think if you get somebody complains, tell them to go to the state representative. That's where the
You can
complaint
send,
is
you can
going, not
send them down and
us.
see David.
Right. Anyway, okay.
But anyway, that's the,
Thank you.
that's
Thank you,
the,
report.
yeah. So,
Is this project where the fill is being generated from at the bottom of?
yes, that's right, by Latham's.
Yeah. So I came down that hill today and, what's it? Wall was completely sideways in the road, blocked both lanes. I think there should be, if we're gonna dump there, I don't have any problem dumping there. There should be a sign or some cones.
There's a-
It's a lower end of patch road you're talking about.
No,
Yeah.
not that I saw, unless I missed them, but I don't
Should
think so.
have road work ahead signs up.
I didn't see any. Just,
Yeah.
Yes, if people come down off the back.
Yeah.
well, I just don't want to see, somebody.
No, and the biggest reason we're dumping there is because that road dropped, there's no shoulder.
Oh, no, I don't have a problem dumping there.
No, I was
Just-
just explaining.
Somebody should just,
Absolutely, and I will,
yeah.
I will
All right.
make a point of saying something.
No noise.
On that note, Zach passed his, CDL test. He's got a, Class B CDL. I'm sorry, he's got a Class A CDL with, no, he can't tow a trailer or anything. Next year he'll go back for his penalty, but I'd like to get him used to driving first without a trailer. He's taking the, next week, he's going for the chainsaw safety, the game of logging that everybody else has had, so he'll be up to speed on that. Fall grading, leaf blowing, and as well as mowing. We're still mowing. That's all going on. Next week, we'll start putting plow frames on some of the trucks that we're not using. Now that we're done hauling stuff, a couple of these retired guys won't be around much. That's about it. I mean, we discussed everything else.
Thanks for the effort on the COVID.
And I did get our propane tanks.
Yeah,
And they're supposed to be here Friday to hook the one up at the town garage, purge it, hook up the regulator, and then Lucas will come and fire the furnace and make sure that works. As,
We're all set on gasoline, and we're just buying gasoline,
yeah,
by the tank full.
Gave you the okay.
yeah, that's what we're doing now.
And Swansea okay delivering it by the tank full as opposed to a contract for the year or something.
Right.
But they essentially, they've got the contract because
It's
nobody
only
else rated it.
200 gallons at a time normally, so it's not. There's not too many places that have gasoline, I'm finding out. Two that I know of, and I've even called private farmers and everybody else that has gas at their place, and I'm like, hey, where do you get gas? And they all, most of them get it from Monadnock.
Just down the road or
No, it's
Swansea.
Swansea oil. So.
All right. Any other questions for Chuck? All right,
I make a motion to approve the town road foreman's report. Are we doing that? We approve
sure,
it.
you can do that.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the road foreman's report. All those in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
That's
I don't know of any reason to have an executive session.
We don't have any managers' news that's changed.
Waiting.
Oh,
This one.
okay.
Boards, committees, and commissions?
I was not able to attend the planning commission, which was
Yeah,
on Monday.
I haven't,
Or they,
no, it's going to be next Monday.
oh, they didn't do this one.
I got an email from Barry this afternoon, sorry. An agenda for, hold on, let me not lie. October 23rd? No, Monday, October 16th.
Thanks.
Yeah. So there'll be a meeting to update on town plan things on Monday. I don't have anything else for boards, committees, and commissions. Other business, the state of Vermont, as you know, approved our recommendation to reduce the speed in front of Base Ford, that little section of road there, down to 45 miles per hour. And they are issuing a work order to V-Trans to install required signs. And speed limit will take effect once the signs have been installed. We don't have any further action. This is just our notification that they're doing that.
So they're not lower the speed.
So we're now warned.
We're now warned
It's actually Fates that
that suggested it, yeah. We're requesting.
applied these.
I always
And
thought it
we
was too
agree
fast.
for we
Yeah.
support it.
Supported it.
We support it.
Good reason.
Any other business? All right, date of next meeting, Wednesday, October 25th.
Oh, is this, sorry, this,
Oh,
what's this thing here?
because it didn't make, we just have to, it's gonna be an agenda item at the next meeting for us to sign that.
Okay,
Um,
it will be signed
It will be
later.
signed, yes. All right,
Make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
motion has been made and seconded to adjourn at 7:25. All those in favor? Aye.
Superb.
Recording stopped.
Chris, I would like to have, the cemetery